Hey my friend, today let's build some thick chords in standard tuning. That's right, you don't need to down tune your guitar if you want to get deeper and bigger chords. And I'm going to show you two techniques that I like to use to get some thicker chords. So the first one is actually to take chords that you already know and slap an extra fifth or third at the bottom of the chord. So for example, you can take a C major in open position like this, and just slap an extra fifth, which would be the third fret of the sixth string. And you can use your ring and your pinky like this and play the chord. So it adds that here compared to the regular chord. And if you want a C minor version, you could fret it like this and have a minor add 9. With the same fifth at the bottom here, which I really love to use. Then you could take any bar chord from the fifth string. So for example, if I take a B major 7, like this, you can just bar further with your index and once again reach that low fifth that does that little here. And it really sounds like you have a 7-string guitar because you hear the same kind of rumble than when you hear that low note at the bottom like this. And that works with any kind of bar chords from the fifth string. So you could play a B minor, but do the same. Or B major, or B sus4. So any kind of chord that you can bar here, you can add it. Or even when you're playing power chords, I mean, if you play power chords from the fifth string, if you want more power, you can just add that low. I love that rumble here. And sometimes you can even add an extra third at the bottom. So for example, if I take a small chord like a D open, you could add an extra fifth by playing the open fifth string, which is already thicker, but you could add your thumb on the second fret of the sixth string, and you have even more thickness out of it. And you can do the same with D minor like this. But this time your thumb has to reach the first fret here and you can play everything. So that's actually the first technique, right? To add an extra low fifth or third in the chord to have a thicker chord. But the second way is actually to create more frictions in the low notes, especially on the sixth and fifth string, regardless of what is the chord structure. You can add some extensions, you can change the chord structure, but what's important is to have some friction in the low strings. So for example, I could build a chord somewhat like this. So that's actually an E flat chord, but the bass note is an A flat. So that would be an E flat add 9 add 11, like this. But we really feel like this chord is an E flat because we get the E flat at the top. And when you hear this, you really imagine in your head the low E flat, like I don't know for you, but I imagine it. So that's the best way you can do to have some friction at the bottom. Like this on the fret 4 and 1. That's a big friction, but I have the root of the chord at the top like this. So that's a really thick chord. Sometimes it doesn't have to be exactly the two last notes of the chord. For example, if I play A major triad like this, but I add the open D string, I still have a big friction even if it's the third note in the chord. And I can do something with this. I could build the rest of the chord somewhat like this. So once again, that's an add 9-11 chord with a big friction at the bottom. And if you want, if you think it's hard to fret, once again, I could change the bass note and use my thumb instead. So I could fret it like this with my ring finger on the 4th fret of the 5th string, open D, my pinky on the 4th fret of the 3rd string, and my index on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string. But then I can add my thumb on the 2nd fret 6th string for something like this. Ah, that's so deep and thick. Especially because of the beautiful chord too. And it's counterintuitive, but thirds are really thick too, especially if they're played on the thickest strings. So for example, if I play an open E, which is my lowest note, and I play my third of the chord on the 11th fret of the 5th string, to me it sounds thicker than a complete E major chord, just because of that low rumble in here. So if I add more frictions like this and more open strings, now I've got a sort of E major 7 add 13 in open position that's super thick and cool. And what's cool is that you can shift it to get the minor version. So you shift the whole thing 1 fret down. So it's cool for modal progressions that go from major to minor like this. Or you could have, this is one of the chords that I showed. The next one I'm going to show you is one that I took from my Foo Fighters lesson. The chord from These Days. Just like this, just 3 notes. It's super, super thick because it blends both concepts that I showed you. So this is a third with an open string on the thicker strings. On A this time, but I'm gonna add the 5th of the chord on the 12th fret 6th string. So this sounds really thick, but what if I build the rest of the chord and I build something like an A major 9? Sounds super thick to me, and this one can be moved around a lot too. So what I did here is I just shifted the same position 3 frets higher, and then when I shifted it 1 fret down, this clashed a little bit, this note, so I brought the note on the 3rd string 1 fret down, so it's almost the same shape, and then I'm playing the same shape from the 13th fret, so. And when you play also minor thirds really, really low on the fretboard, so for example, if I'm playing a minor third interval from G, so G and B flat, and maybe I can add the D in it, it sounds super thick too. So I could build, I don't know, a G minor add 9 or something like this. super, super thick. So let's say I take some of the chords we've seen. I take this kind of G minor. I take the C minor with an added ninth, and I take the D minor big like this. You can have a cool progression. So that's the difference between playing this. Like if I play only bar chords on G minor, C minor, and D minor, that would sound like this. But if I play the new thick chords that we've learned, I could have something like this. So you see, no need to downtune your guitar. You just need different voicings to take advantage of the low fifths, low thirds, and frictions in the low notes, and you can get some very, very thick chords out of the standard tuning. So I hope that you enjoyed this lesson, that you're gonna keep some of those chords in your bag of tricks. And if you really enjoyed this lesson, you can subscribe to my channel and turn on the notifications not to miss my future videos. And if you are new on my channel, I offer a free course to my new viewers. This is first link in the description box. It's a free course on ambient guitar chords. I'm showing you how to play spread triads, and I teach about harmonization and lots of cool stuff. So if you enjoyed this lesson, you will enjoy the free course too. And you can get it first link in the description box. And I also give you the chord charts and the exercises of the course downloadable for free. So you can check it out if you want. All right, thanks so much for watching, and until next time, au revoir.